this is for the one who ain't never had a love, yeah. This one's for the girl who don't feel like she's enough, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This one's for the cool kid playing on the school team, crying to himself cause he never had the prom queen. Head full of wands, but they said it's just a pipe dream, yeah. This one's for the kids like me, they never had one thing. The ladies always turn their cheek, but they ain't let the fat ones sing. This one's for the kids like me, kept working when they had nothing. When people try to take their dreams, they stuck it to them, please don't change. For the nerds.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. How is everybody doing out there on this Wednesday, March 11th, 2026? We are into March. It is episode number 193. I hope everybody is doing well out there, wherever you are watching from, YouTube X, Facebook, Kick, or Rumble. We appreciate it. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe, follow wherever you want to, all that good jazz. And also, go follow us on the socials at the Alex Cuesta Show. So for those keeping score at home, we were not here last week. I'm sorry for that. I have been going through some technical difficulties in my home, aka I've been without heat and hot water for damn near a week. My boiler took a crap. We were trying to figure out someone to come and redo it, juggling an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old in trying to have a freezing home. And luckily we've had a mini El Nino up here over in New York, so it hasn't been as bad, but it was interesting. It's an interesting time. The boiler is mostly installed today and it's going to get finished tomorrow. So we will be back in action and everything will be rolling. I'll be going and doing some more hangout streams and things like that, but just wanted to give you my little 411 on life there for anyone that missed us last week. But 2 weeks ago, we had the privilege of talking to someone who I'm friends with over here and an amazing person, Ellie Amani. She told a really cool story about starting her fashion company, Azadi, and bringing in part of her story, part of her culture, trying to mix it in with the American look. So if you missed that, it was a really fun show, a different show than normally what we do, but a ton of fun talking to Ellie. And also for everyone keeping score, David will be here. He is running a little bit late. It's not one of his nights where he's supposed to be here and then he just ditches out. He will be here. So look forward to having David back around. But I want to jump into the show. I want to get started because this is someone that was gracious enough to say she would come on the show. And it's one of those things when you get people who you see are ridiculously talented, those are some of the people that you just want to talk to. And this young lady, not only is she based as hell, she's also a really great musician. So let's bring her in. She is Lady Desirée. She is a musical content creator who also dabbles in a little bit of gardening. Lady Desirée, what's up?
Hello, how are you?
I am doing well, doing well. Thank you so much for coming on. I absolutely appreciate it.
I'm super happy to be here. Thank you.
So
I will
like
say I am not dabbling in gardening right now. Right now I am up to my neck in gardening.
So what do you got
I'm
going on?
hardly left. Like I actually have a little bit of sunburn right now. It's just the weather is so nice right now. I don't want to be inside.
I
I
don't
just
blame you.
don't want to be inside. It's actually been hard for me to stream, and I normally love streaming, but I'm like, I don't want to be in this room. I want to be outside. So yeah, I have a really huge flower garden.
What
It's a
type of
rose
flowers?
and all kinds. It's a rose and pollinator garden. So a bunch of roses and just a bunch of flowers, all kinds of things.
So fun story about my gardening expertise. I used to work at a plant nursery. And part of it was,
Oh,
I used to have to sell the plants and flowers. And I would have people, and I was in where I grew up over in Jersey. There was a lot of elderly. There was a bunch of elderly communities. I was right near Seaside Heights, which happens to have I know you're down in Florida over there, and you have a lot of elderly. So do we in Seaside Heights in Jersey. And I started working at this plant nursery, and they would come up and ask me about plants. Like, oh, is this good in sun? Blah, blah, blah. And I had no idea. I was in high school. I had no clue anything about plants. I'd be like, yeah, that's great in the sun. And then they would go buy it. And then another employee who's been there forever is like, that's going to die immediately. I'm like, well, I guess we're going to get a repeat customer. But that is my like plant expertise. I have a black thumb. I cannot grow anything at all. Like it's
Well,
really
I used to be really bad. In fact, like before I even had children, my family would joke and say, like, you got to keep a plant alive for like a week before you even think about having kids. I still didn't when I did have kids. I was able to keep them alive, but actually it was in 2020. I know it's so cliche, but when everything shut down, that's when I started my backyard garden, and I just like fell completely in love with it. But
now. Are you
also
the type of, go ahead.
well, also my husband is a beekeeper, and so he's gone into beekeeping, and he's very outdoorsy. So he having his like support behind it, he'll do like the tough stuff. It's like, yeah, what do you want? And he'll like dig up all the like the crazy holes and stuff.
Mhm.
He'll do a lot of the grunt work, and also I can like spend pretty much as much as I want, and he doesn't get mad. But see, I'm not a big spender otherwise. Like I'm really not. So it's like, okay, if I drop like $100 for plants ever so often, but he doesn't mind. So that's
Are you
good.
the type of person who finds it like therapeutic as you're over there and
Oh
pruning and kind
yeah.
of keeping the weeds out and stuff?
100%. Yeah. No, it's very, very relaxing, and it's just quiet, and the birds are chirping, and yeah, no, I love it.
See, it's funny. I find it tedious, and I know like my like Latin part of me should be really mad. Like my Ecuadorian side should be like, get on the farm, because that's what we do. But it's I don't know. I don't like it. Like I get in there and like I'll weed the beds if I have to and stuff. Every summer I go out and I weed the beds for my wife to try, and she does all of her flowers, but I go out there and I do the weeding and stuff. And it can be tedious. Speaking of someone who I don't think has ever touched a plant, David, you're here. Hi,
I
Dave.
have not touched a plant. I have not touched a plant once in my life, actually. No, I've been listening a little bit. Unfortunately, the drive home was not very fun.
What did you do on the drive home?
I got stuck behind cars on a single lane. That's what I did.
You.
Do you hear this, Lady Des? He's so disrespectful that he decided to be late to your stream. What are we going to do with him? How do we
Sorry.
I
punish him?
don't know. We got stuck behind some cars. Let's give him a pass.
It was nice meeting you.
You are
Very
you are
nice
far too
meeting you.
nice. You are
Nice
far,
to meet
far
you.
too nice. So, when did you decide to start creating musical content? Because a lot of the times when you see content on YouTube, Rumble, wherever it is, it's gaming, it is politics, it's something else. When did you decide that I'm going to be different? I'm going to do music, and not just music, like you break out a beautiful piano and just go ham sandwich. When did that become the thing that you wanted to do?
I kind of fell into it actually. So I was playing the game Destiny, and really liked one of the pieces and wanted
Yeah.
to find the music for it, couldn't find it. So I just listened to it by ear and came up with my own
Wow.
rendition, and went ahead and did a little bit of sheet music. And I thought, you know what? Somebody else might be looking for this. I'll post it up on YouTube. And in case I was not looking to be a YouTuber, I didn't know anything about this world, nothing. But someone in the Destiny community found it, and it went viral in that community. And it was exciting, honestly. It was like, oh, people like to hear my stuff. This is kind of cool. And so I started doing more Destiny covers. Actually, I started my Twitter. I started a Twitter right when Twitter opened, started, but then I never tweeted anything. Didn't follow
Yeah.
me, like never opened it up again. But then I heard that Marty O'Donnell, who's the composer of Halo and
Halo,
Destiny,
yep.
had tweeted
Mhm.
about my cover. So I was like, well, shoot, now I need to go join. So that's actually how I got onto Twitter, was from him tweeting. But so yeah, I started doing more YouTube content that way, and then some of my clan mates on Destiny were like, "Hey, you should stream the game Destiny," and I didn't even know about live streaming, and so because this was back in 2015, so I started streaming the game Destiny, and then Twitch started opening it up to creatives. They had like the creative side of Twitch. That's
Yeah.
what they called it then. I don't even know what it is now. But anyway, so that's when I started. I was like, well, I'll go ahead and try out doing piano content, because that's what everybody knew me for. And the Destiny community was piano content. And that's how I got started on that. And so it was really a fluke, honestly. Like I never was, but I've always done music for a career. So it was kind of like a natural, it just worked out well where I was like, oh, this is fun. I like to talk to people. I like to build a community. I
Mhm.
like nerd culture stuff. Here's
Yeah.
people who actually like that kind of thing. And I could play to my own strengths when I play my own pieces.
That
So
that's awesome. That's fantastic too. The fact that you just kind of fell into it and was able to blend two things that you like, gaming and making music. And it's always a ton of fun. Like I told you off stream, every once in a while, like you do your piano streams a lot earlier morning. So if I can, I'll pop in and I'll listen to a little bit of it. And I'm usually a lurker. I don't say anything, but I do like, and also listening to you at like the live events with side scrollers, when you're playing. I remember at the house, when you were just playing a whole bunch of different songs, and James from Melee Games just went on and sang awfully, and it was amazing. But it's just really cool to see, because it is, really different, and kind of a breath of fresh air for, nerds are usually thought of as like little stuffy, like basement dwellers, and most of us are, right? But to like see someone who's like a classically trained pianist and also a nerd, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I think it makes all of us nerds pretty happy.
Oh, good. Well, it's fun. I love it. So I'm glad there's people that like it.
So, a few quick comments. Six Strings coming in saying good evening. Hello, Six Strings. How are you? Caveat Ties saying it was nice for a bit today and then it snowed. That just sounds like a hellscape. That it was nice and then it snowed. That's not fun. Caveat Ties also saying I touched plants. And he also wants to know, do you play any Mozart?
I played a ton of Mozart, so I got my degree in piano. So you have, in order, depending on your school, but I went to a pretty good music school, you have to have a certain amount of repertoire
Yeah.
to get admitted, and then you have
Mhm.
to, play certain repertoire. So I've played Mozart, but I don't really play classical anymore. People ask me like why, and honestly, I don't want to spend my time like having to learn stuff and keep it in your fingers. I don't think people understand that even when you learn a classical piece, you still have to put time into keeping it there,
Yeah.
keeping it
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
fresh. And
Right.
I much rather instead like take the little styles of the composers and just play stuff that everybody knows in my own way. And that's what's fun for me. So that's what I
Do,
do.
do you compose your own music as well? Like, do you make your own originals at all?
Well, all the stuff I play on my stream are all my own arrangements that I'm making up on the spot. So
That's amazing.
so that's all original. But I do actually do some composition as well. And I've done like little projects for indie games or some, intros for people and outros. And that's like I use Pro Tools for that, and we'll do like, full
Mhm.
orchestration for that.
See, that's something I've
That's
always
awesome.
marveled at is I have like negative ability when it comes to like being creative in terms of drawing and music. Like if I look at a guitar, the strings pop, like it doesn't want me to touch it, right? But it's like I've always been in awe about when you listen, especially to classical pieces, just how someone can sit there and understand the instrument so well and say, I want this group to make this much noise at the same time as this one using this and that, and have it all together and make it so beautiful, right? Like, uh, is that something like obviously you have to have an innate ability, right? At first, there was an innate ability to kind of hear that stuff. Is it always a process though of fine tuning yourself in terms
Oh,
of putting chords together
yes.
and things like that?
100%. I mean, I feel like I'm terrible at it compared to, like the greats out
The
there.
greats always think they're the worst though. Like every great thinks that their stuff
No,
sucks. It's
trust
just
me,
how it
I'm not
works.
a great. I'm not a great. I mean, I'm better than the average person, but comparing myself to like, John Williams or Tchaikovsky or Beethoven, who was freaking, deaf, not
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
deaf,
Mhm.
but very, very deaf. And back
Yeah.
then, those composers, they couldn't like put things into Pro Tools and like
No.
hear it and like press play,
Nice.
like, how does this sound? Oh, I think I need to adjust this. No, they were doing it
Mhm.
all by paper, so it's absolute genius. And it still blows my mind that these work of arts like
I
exist.
I couldn't imagine being a young composer for the first time and just coming up there and being like, "Hey, can I just borrow your orchestra and see if my stuff doesn't suck?" Like, imagine going up there and just fully it sounds like trash. Like, it sounds like Looney Tunes when Bugs is doing the orchestra. It's like, "Brr." Like, imagine that is like you think you
Well,
have
you
this
don't
great stuff
start
and then
off you don't start off with a full orchestra. Like most of these great composers started out at the piano. That's why
yeah,
a lot of pianists end up being a lot of composers are pianists, let's say that. Because it's
Mhm.
just such a good instrument. You have such a wide range and you can have multiple harmonies at once.
the array
So,
is incredible.
everyone starts somewhere, but I definitely because I teach piano also too. So I've thought a lot about this and like examined students through the years. Like, why does some stuff come so naturally to some students and some students struggle so much? And there's
Yeah.
definitely parts of the brain that I think you need to have kind of like a base level adequacy
Mhm.
for,
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
think there's certain, I mean, I couldn't even like tell you every little thing, but like there are definitely some things that need to be in place. But that doesn't mean that you still can't experience music or still can't do well at an instrument. I think that
Mhm.
if you put a lot of effort into anything in music, you could be decent. Could you be like top percent? Maybe not, but so what? I'm not a music snob at all. Like I don't really feel like
Yeah.
there's still so much enjoyment to be had even at an average level. So and even it's pretty satisfying even if you wanna get into composition, there's still, like, a little you could make little songs. I had a piano student today who made a song, she called it, was it Night Bloom, I think was the name of it, and she asked me if she could play at a recital in the spring. I was like, "Yeah," and she played, and it was just, like, this little simple song with a pedal, but it was so pretty, but it was
Sounds
simple.
awesome.
It
Sometimes the
had, like, some
simplest are
That's
the
one
nice.
best.
Yeah, so it's like, there's beauty and simplicity too,
Yeah.
but
You said that you teach and you've been thinking about this. Now, I don't know if you'll have to answer this question, but do you, since you've been thinking about like people catching on to music and everything like that, have you found that maybe some people with more of an analytical mind might catch on quicker? Some people with more of a free form mind might catch on quicker. I don't know if you've seen kind of like a type of person that can catch on a bit quicker. I don't know if you've seen that at all or if you've thought about that. I'm just
yeah.
wondering if it's if there's like a genre of person where you talk to them a bit, you find out what their interests are. It's like, yeah, you'll probably catch on a little bit more.
I think that there's certain things that like they'll do good in this area.
Hmm.
So I do think like having a my higher IQ students, the ones that are gifted, will catch on to the note reading. Like the note reading will come a lot faster.
Hmm.
The rhythm, them understanding like just the note values and how all that works, which is extremely helpful,
Hmm.
Yeah.
extremely helpful. People, I think, love to say like, "Oh, playing by ear is like so awesome," and playing by ear can be is great, but it will only take you so far. So
Hmm.
if you can read music, that's gonna be great. So like, and then to contrast that, not this isn't really IQ related, but if I've had students who've had like dyslexia and they have such a hard time reading music too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that still they can't find a way, but
Hmm.
there's going to be some challenges there. So people who if you're tone deaf, that can be problematic. It's not the worst in
Yeah.
piano because with piano you don't have to worry about intonation, which is like your tone, so when
Hmm.
you're playing
Mhm.
like the violin, little things you do might make it go flat or
Hmm.
sharp.
Hmm.
Piano, we
Yeah.
don't have to worry
Yeah.
about that because you're not tuning the piano as you play
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Either it's in tune or it's not. So that's not as vital, but still you might not be able to like hear it well, hear the tune and know you're messing up. Like I'll have some students I've had a couple, they play something and it's completely wrong and they have no clue it's wrong.
Hmm.
You know, and sometimes it's even like a basic melody that like like happy birthday or whatever, and they
Mhm.
have no idea that they're playing it wrong.
Huh.
So there's definitely a lot of I've had some very, very challenging students in that way. But as far as like analytical and creative, like, like type A or type B or whatever, I think that really having a good balance of both is going to yield the best pianist because there is like a lot of creative stuff that goes into
Hmm.
being a good musician, but there's also a lot your brain has to do a lot of work too. So you have to be able to analyze stuff quickly and,
Hmm.
process all that information.
Yeah, because I could imagine too, like, because obviously it's more than just your fingers, right? Because the pedals eventually become involved. And I think that's wild to me is being able to like do two different things with your hands, but then also include the feet as well. Like, I've always marveled at drummers that can do basses, like double bass and stuff too, because,
Hmm.
it's like being the wacky inflatable arm person. Like, you have to be able to do four different things at once. And I mean, for me, I could barely walk around. Like, I can't imagine sitting there and doing four different things. And I could imagine also, though, that's kind of where maybe being a little bit creative comes in, right? Because you're not as stiff and structured. You're not as, sometimes being over analytical, I could imagine makes it harder being able to like physically like realize doing everything at the same time. So, do you want to start your students like when you're getting a student into an advanced part of music? Do you go like I know a lot of people want to go for like the more classicals, like and they want to get into that point. Do you and you start off with simple. When do you bring them into those harder classical things? Do they have to get past like different genres that maybe are easier? Like how do you get there?
Well, I teach out of a series called Piano Adventures, and so
Mm.
it's good because it tiers it. There's different levels, and
Yeah.
once I get to it's 3B, it actually goes up to level 5, but at 3B is when I stop. That's usually they're around middle school or high school, and then I'm like, okay, what do you want to learn next? And I actually listen way more to the student than I do the parent because
Mhm.
at this point I want to know like I take into account some what the parent says. I mean, they are paying for it, but I want to know like what the student really wants to do. So I say, do you want to learn more classical music or do you want to learn hymns from church or do you want to
Mhm.
learn pop music? Do you want to learn video game music?
Yeah. You want to learn Metallica on
Yeah,
piano.
yeah, I'll take you whatever direction you want to go. Most of them usually wanna go to classical, and so there's lots of classical piano lit books that are tiered as well, so I kinda know which ones to start them off with, and then
Mhm.
sometimes they'll, like, really have, an interest for a certain era, but if they're really wanting to do classical, I try and keep it well-rounded because if there is a chance that they decide to do it for college, and I have had some students go on to be music majors,
Mhm.
they have to have a good rounded repertoire. So
Gotcha.
I have to make
Gotcha.
sure they're getting all that stuff.
Mhm.
Do you
So
find that it's like easier to translate, like when you're doing other genres, the guitar over to the piano because the theory with like the chords and the different sets is very similar to trying to find the matches with the
mhm.
keys? Do you find that it's easier to translate those to like a piano, or what instrument is basically easiest to bring down into a piano version?
Um, um, I guess guitar. Usually, like when people are requesting stuff on my stream, they'll request a song, and so I can kind of just look up the song.
Yeah.
I can either see what the chords are, but I'm not. It could be all kinds of instruments that are
Yeah.
contributing to that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm good with just a melody. If I know the chords underneath it, then I can go ahead and work with that. That's actually what I prefer. Like
Okay.
it's so what I read from is what's called a lead sheet.
Mhm.
And so that has only the melody on usually just the treble clef, the top clef, and then
Yep.
it'll tell you the chords. And then I kind of come up with my own little flourishes and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
That is
Which
really
I
cool.
teach my piano students how to do that too, actually. I teach them
Cool.
early on how to do that because it's a easy way to be able to play just pretty much anything because there's lead sheets for just about every song out there.
That's cool.
So
That's cool if you
yeah.
know. So a few comments here. Six string saying good, thank you, sir. Hope you are. Thank you. Caveat tie saying I also love Zelda music. Who the hell doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't?
Zelda music's amazing. Six string saying she's great and so humble. Like I said, most of the greats don't even say that they're great. But caveat ties coming in here saying Mozart probably thought he was the greatest. So quick thing with caveat ties, I've had Rollin on the show. He's an author. He's fantastic. And Rollin, getting your books, I'm starting them. He's written 4 books and he's working on a comic. Rollin's
Wow.
incredibly talented. His favorite movie is Amadeus, so he's a big Mozart guy.
Well,
So it makes
Mozart
sense.
was a total child prodigy, like a
I could see
total child prodigy.
like I could see like just based off of like his persona, I could 100% see him being a total Chad. Like if in this time, like
I think he's a little bit more on the dandy side, but
Yeah.
a lot of musicians are.
Yeah.
He had a very, very overbearing father who was like a dance mom kind of thing of a guy, and he
Okay.
yeah he had an interesting family life, but yeah.
So when it comes to gaming, you're obviously a gamer. Did it come young with you to like want to take the songs that you heard in games and trying to play them on piano and doing exactly what you were saying, like finding a lead sheet or something? Like, were you doing that with trying to make the songs yourself?
Not really, actually. I was so focused in on like my piano assignments and like
Mhm.
all the classical music. I played in church in high school, and I would play the hymns. I played like the hymns, but I'd also play the prelude music. And I wanted to make that a little bit more interesting instead of just playing it as is. So that's where I kind of started messing around a little bit more with the chords and stuff. Did we lose Dave?
No, he
I'm
just
here.
went
Oh,
for a second.
okay.
He fades away to the blackness every once in a while.
Okay,
We
just I didn't want to like
Don't
keep
worry. Don't
rambling
worry
on.
about me. I'm not important. Don't worry about me.
So I kind of like started teaching myself how to do that. I wasn't really taught how to do that, although my
Yeah.
piano teacher was great at like just teaching the music theory foundation and the chords. So I knew like what a D minor chord was or whatever. So I could transition.
Yeah.
I didn't actually look at lead sheets because that also wasn't part of the curriculum when I was growing up. But
Okay.
I didn't start that until like I was in my 20s. And I was like, oh, this is cool, a lead
Yeah.
sheet. And that's when I started messing around a little bit more. And honestly, I really didn't start doing a lot of the video game stuff until went viral. And that's when I started streaming. I was like,
Mhm.
and started finding the resources because I didn't know the resources. I did have a Zelda piano book that I had gotten years before, and I had it like shipped in. It's all in Japanese. Like I
Oh, wow.
can't read it at
Yeah,
all.
you
Like
can't
literally, it's not even in English. I'm like, what is this song? I have to like play it to figure out what the song is. So I got that ages ago, but like this was back in because I'm older than you are, Alex. I don't know who's the older brother of Alex.
I'm the
Dave.
older brother.
Okay, so I'm older than you. And so it was hard to find like access to video game music when I was growing up. It was very hard. But once I started streaming, I found out there was a resource of a website that I use all the time. It's called VG Lead Sheets.
Okay.
VG for video game. It's
Yeah.
free,
Yep.
and there's so many songs on there. So many songs.
And it's because I can imagine that's true because it's only over the last decade that being like a gamer and a geek has become a good thing, right? Which
Yeah.
I mean, we can argue whether or not it's a good thing. I think
Yeah.
we still need to gatekeep and kind of put a lot of those people back in the basement where they belong. But it's only been recent that it's become a popular thing, right? And where
Yeah.
you would have the audience where you're playing just a random tune from like Streets of Rage, and now a whole group will be like, I remember beating up this boss to that song. It's great. Like you would have like if you played something from Contra, you would have Craig probably geek out and just be like, oh, I beat that game in a speed run. But you'll have those people that relate to the things that you're doing, and it's just there is a coolness to it now that we can do that. So speaking of games, do you have any favorite soundtrack song that you just like and or like to play?
I mean, I like a lot.
It's a very big choice.
It's
Pick one. Pick one. We're
okay,
we're forcing you.
I'm gonna say DuckTales, the original DuckTales, 8-bit DuckTales music.
DuckTales is so good.
That is a phenomenal
Yeah.
score.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. And the 8-bit music too, I just feel like was very, very good because those hooks they had to hook you.
Yeah.
And you just didn't have a whole lot to work with. So you had to have a good, strong melody. And I just love the DuckTales music. And I love the remastered version. I love what they did with that too.
Mhm.
DuckTales is one of the best games of all time. Like it really is.
I
so
love that
good.
game.
It's
Yeah, no,
so
I
good.
played that so much.
Yeah,
So I was
rented it.
I was a gamer growing up. Like it wasn't
Mhm.
like I didn't play video games. My dark period was my high school years. So I never played the Nintendo 64. I didn't own that
Okay.
console. But I had I had the NES and I had the Super NES.
Mhm.
And then I had the GameCube and on. But yeah, I missed out on the
Ah,
64.
GameCube.
My
Like,
cousin
That
this
might
isn't-
be my favorite.
but we played the crap out of the GameCube, Dave. We really did. But
Yeah, that might be my favorite.
I had Sega and then all the PlayStations up to PlayStation 4. I didn't get the PlayStation 5. It's the first PlayStation I haven't bought. It's
Well,
like
there's no games for it, so it's fine.
no, there are no games for it. It's so you like Dave, do you have a favorite soundtrack or song from a game?
Oh, that's rough. I didn't expect the question to get thrown.
I mean, you
I made up the
on
question.
sheet,
I didn't think about it though.
you jerk.
I don't know, man. Oh shit! So the thing is, I could go kind of generic and say from the Doom soundtrack, one of them from the Doom soundtrack, like the only thing they fear is you, because like there's just so much good stuff on there. But then again, I also love the Persona 5 soundtrack. I don't
Oh,
know.
I've been playing that. You know, I've had a request for life life change. What is it
Oh,
called?
yeah.
Um
I can't remember the exact name.
darn it, I play it all
No,
the time.
no, I
But
know.
I've had a viewer, T-Trep is his name, who
Mhm.
requests that almost every stream now from
Really?
Persona 5.
Yeah.
Life has changed. Something about change. It's da da shoot. Darn it.
I
Anyways, it's gonna drive me crazy.
no,
But I just recently got introduced to that. That's why I said that up. I said
that
that. I'm
Personas are
still getting
really good.
introduced to so many songs,
Yeah.
and it's
that
awesome.
that soundtrack is life will change. That's what it's called.
Life will change. That's
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
that soundtrack is such a good jazz soundtrack. Like if you like jazz in any way, you'll probably love the Persona 5 soundtrack, and it just works for the game.
Which probably makes it incredibly hard to play, incredibly hard, because jazz is known for being incredibly hard as a genre. So
I was gonna say maybe like Last Surprise off that or something like that. I don't know.
see, I'm gonna go out of left field, one that many people don't think of, but I played the hell out of this game and I loved it. Kirby's Dream Land. Kirby's Dream
Mhm.
Land soundtrack was so friggin' good. Just jumping on from the beginning, like just all the boss fights. I loved Kirby. That is one of my favorites off the top of my head. You could probably show me a bunch of other games. I'll be like, yeah, maybe that one too. But off the top of my head, Kirby's Dream Land was absolutely incredible. So, and that's, it's nice and upbeat as you're watching Kirby just go and like fight gods because he's a crazy pink goo that could just eat everything. So,
Kirby's beautiful.
a few comments here. Caveat Ty's talking about Mozart some more. He was a petulant child even as an adult. Listen, when you could be a diva and you're the goat, you can, okay? Nate's saying he has to refresh his AOL discs. Yes, AOL Dave. So Dave actually got that nickname from Melee Games. We had them on the show and he kept on resetting. And I think it was James that started calling him AOL Dave.
Yeah.
And so that's where that's there. Six String saying, this is my first time meeting this young lady. I wonder if she sings too. Lady Des, do you sing as well?
Six String is a longtime viewer, and he likes to hear me sing. And I do sing occasionally, but it's not very good. So
But here's the thing, you're not tone deaf. So while you may not be like Kelly Clarkson, you could probably hold a tune, which is
yeah. There's a couple of songs I can sound halfway decent. That's what I aim for, halfway decent.
Nate's saying DSP is to thank for that. DSP is to thank for a lot. Fucking DSP. SmackDowns, the songs from SmackDown, those are amazing. All the SmackDown soundtracks. I think he's talking about WWE. I'm here for it. Caveat Ty saying Ballad of the Goddess, I assume.
Ballad of the Goddess.
He corrected to that. Abyss 13 saying Life is Strange. Hello, Abyss 13. How are you? Also, hello. Six String saying Life will change. I guess that's it.
Yeah, that was the name. Yeah.
Abyss saying she sings great. Y'all have no idea. We might have to have you sing on the stream, Lady Des.
No, no.
You don't sing on command? Why not? No. Caveat Ty saying, do you sing opera?
No. I've got about a range of like 5 notes. I have one style. It's lullaby style. I don't have a loud voice. It's quiet.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Abyss 13 saying poor unfortunate souls. I mean, that's a great one. Poor unfortunate souls.
Yeah,
That's
that is
a
actually
classic song.
he knows that's one that I do sing. I have to be in an extremely silly mood, and I usually put it for like some really high sub goal because I definitely, when I commit, I commit. So it's like, if I'm going to play the bit, I'm going to play the bit. And it's very dorky, and I feel like I could scare people off. So I need to make sure that I'm getting something out of this.
That's not easy to sing either. And that's one of my favorite Disney songs.
It's up there as one of the best villain songs of all time. That one's up there. Be Prepared by Scar.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And K-pop Demon Hunters, your idol has really jumped into. I love your idol.
I really like Friends on the Other Side.
Friends on the Other Side is really good.
Yeah.
So, fun fact about that, I just saw Hoppers this past weekend. We wanted to go see it.
Oh, my daughter saw that.
My kids
no, sorry. No, she didn't see that. She saw Goat.
Okay, Goat, which Goat actually looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
But saw Hoppers.
Sorry,
And
go ahead.
I have a big issue with Disney more than just, the current things that's going on. The premise between this and Elio have had decent premises. They make their protagonists so goddamn unlikable. They are just unlikable people. Elio was a kid I was rooting against. And then this chick in Hoppers, she is a 19-year-old college student who is just, it's leftist. It is just your screeching, left leaning, naive individual. And I think my biggest problem is I like when you see growth in characters, right? Like
Yeah.
Zootopia, like my kids just watch Utopia too. They do a great job of bringing growth into all their characters in that little bit of time. That's what makes the movie great. Watching Nick grow, watching Judy Hopps grow. There is negative growth for this individual. She stays naive, makes the same mistakes over and over and over. And then, as a 19-year-old, destroys a bunch of shit and doesn't get put in jail. Like, all of this, like, it drives me crazy. There's a decent premise that could be fun, and it's just they're unlikable characters. That's my biggest issue with it. Then
Yeah,
rant over.
well, I'm gonna keep going off
Go
this
for
one.
it. Go,
Yeah,
girl.
keep- please
Okay.
keep going.
I mean, the whole idea of fairy tales, the whole reason why they started was because it's supposed to like teach some
Yeah.
moral,
Yes.
thing. And that's what I feel like Walt Disney had that vision. There was something that was you were supposed to grow as a person while watching it, have some kind of cathartic experience.
Mhm.
All these movies recently, like I don't even think they care at all about there being any kind of like moral, code or anything, any purpose to it.
No.
And they all have like the same little snarky, like they think
Yup.
they're being funny attitude. It's like it's so overdone now. I'm so tired of it. Like I'm just over it.
And one thing that Disney did with all these too, because it was Grimm's fairy tales, and Grimm's fairy tales were often, and he took a lot of them, and often they did have a little bit more of like a harsher
Darker.
ending, a
Yeah.
darker side.
Mhm.
And Walt Disney understood, like you said, that there's a moral to this, but you can make it lighter for kids. You don't
Mhm.
have to make it that darker ending. You can do some stuff where it still gets to the same conclusion, keeps the story the same, but takes out some of the grimness of it. Pun on words there.
Mhm.
And it's like with the movie Hoppers, there's a bunch of adult stuff, like adult context, not sexually, but when it just comes to like the things they're talking about, like the geology and say like, and there isn't like a kid element to there outside of talking animals. So it's again, the premise could have been done better. It could have been a good Disney movie. Would have never been a great. I think the premise made it great, but it could have been good. And it's just if your protagonist is unlikable, then that ends it for me. If I'm
Yeah.
rooting against
Yeah.
your protagonist, it's over already.
And I just want to throw this in there because I was thinking about it. Hellfire, also another fantastic Disney villain song from Hunchback of
Oh
Notre
yeah.
Dame.
Yeah, well, Hunchback of Notre Dame is one of the most
Fantastic.
underrated
Yeah.
movies. Well, we got Josie and my daughters Josie and Maddie. We got them to watch Night at the Museum. Finally, they're 8 and 5, so we introduced them, and we're getting them to watch National Treasure soon. We need to introduce them to the
fun.
good stuff, man.
Mhm.
They have to get the good stuff.
It's so fun introducing kids to your favorite movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like actually my kids are a little older, but right now we've been watching Lost, which is my favorite TV series of all time. I've seen it a couple of times, but they're watching it for the first time, and we're down to the very last episode. Actually, we were thinking about watching it tonight. I was like, I can't do it tonight. I got a podcast.
Sorry.
They're all
Sorry.
annoyed. It's okay.
So-
we're gonna make it a big event. So
Lost is such an interesting story for me because I had no interest in the show at all. And I was in college and my friends were like, well, we're going to watch Lost in the living room. And I'm like, I don't want to sit in my room all day. So I ended up watching it. And I have to say, I like it. I think it lost the plot a little towards the end there. It got a little bit ridiculous, but
how dare
overall,
you.
it's not the
How
worst show I
dare you criticize my favorite show? Well, listen, I'll say this. I know I understand. I know there's a lot of like mysteries and some stuff doesn't get answered. I will say it's so much better when you watch it the second time though. And it's really different when you watch it older. Like if you see it through a different lens and it's very I don't know. You just there's a lot more to gain from it after having lived a little bit of life. Because I saw when it very first came out, so I was like in my, I think, like early mid 20s at that point.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then watching it, like I had I had a newborn, a little baby at the time.
Yeah.
So, just now, like now with the kids grown and everything, it's just, it was very different, but I love it. I love that series. So
I've never
You know,
actually seen it.
So here's the thing, and
I've
it's
never
sad
seen it.
because the young lady I'm going to talk about was the star of the show, Evangeline Lilly. She is obviously going
Mhm.
through so much tragedy with the brain damage and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like, we really hope that she recovers at some point. But my God, she was the main reason to watch that show. If you were a guy, Evangeline Lilly just being gorgeous every single moment of that show, like that was the plot. If the story wasn't going great, okay, just get Evangeline on the screen, and we were happy. But
Yeah, well, the girls had Sawyer, so we were okay with that.
yeah, you guys had Sawyer. Sawyer was like he looked like Flynn Rider. Like, if they don't make Flynn Rider look like Sawyer, then they're doing something wrong. Because I know they're doing the live action
Mhm.
Tangled, which I do have to say, what's her face just got cast for Mother Gothel.
Yes.
I forget her name now.
What is her name?
Oh, is that
She's
Catherine
in
Hahn? Was
everything.
that the one I saw?
Yes,
Catherine Hahn?
Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, yes.
And she looks, and I think that she's a good casting for that. I think
Oh,
that
yeah,
I
yeah.
like her look. The girl that they had to play the lead chick for Tangled, Rapunzel, she looks good as
I
long as
haven't
she
seen
can
her.
sing.
Yeah, I haven't
Who
seen
is
it.
that? Is she a new person?
She's a newer, yeah, she's an
That's
unknown.
good.
She's like
Okay, good. That's a good sign.
yeah, she's more of an unknown, young, blonde. Can't be Mandy Moore because Mandy Moore doesn't look anything like
Keegan
herself anymore.
Croft from Titans.
Yes, go throw it up on the screen, Dave. Share it real
I'm
quick.
going
She
to.
looks like she'll be good. If she can sing, we're in good shape. I did see that there might be a Zachary Levi and Mandy Moore may play the parents, which
Oh, that'd be sweet. She's
but
very pretty.
yeah, this one is. So I like this. I think Tegan Croft's a pretty good. She'll make a good Rapunzel as long as they do it right. So
That's
Well, I
not
think it's
a
a
real,
good
that's no
sign
way
if
that's
it
a real
if
trailer.
that's not a real trailer.
Yeah, it's like, what is that?
That's fake. We just got Mother Gothel.
That's what I was
We
saying.
haven't
Like,
even
there's no
started,
way
like,
that's a real
filming.
trailer.
No shot. But we'll see. Hopefully they don't screw it up. I want to get to some of the comments. Six String saying, I'll say that her singing brings my anxiety down and gives me the feeling that everything is going to be okay. That's
Oh,
fantastic.
thank you.
Caveat Ty saying the lesson, just need to realize how great you are. Nate G saying Hollywood leftists have no moral foundations. How could they retell stories based around such? Yes. And Caveat Ty saying, we're going to be watching One Piece with my kiddos. Yeah, tomorrow I'm starting One Piece season 2. Did you see the ratings?
Is going very much further than I thought it was going to go with some of the characters that I've seen introduced.
But did you see the ratings for the season?
No.
They're all in the high 8s and 9s.
I've heard some people say it's amazing. I've heard some people complaining about how goofy it looks, because I've seen some of the stuff going on. It's like some of it's like, oh, okay, maybe they didn't have a budget for this.
Lady Des, are you an anime fan at all?
Some, but I don't know this. I don't know One Piece.
So what anime do you like? Dave and I are weebs, so.
Well, I guess Avatar doesn't really count because I know it's not.
I count Avatar.
Okay,
Listen, Avatar was created by Koreans, so technically it will be like a manhwa. But
okay, well, I love Avatar. It's like one of our family shows. We love it.
Dave and I have talked about it. It's almost the perfect show. It like teaches so many different great things, and that friggin' live action was a bastardization. David talked me into hating it.
Yeah, I know. The Netflix.
Yeah, it was miserable.
I never did watch it. I think we watched like the first couple of minutes, and then we're like, for some reason, we decided not to keep watching. Can't remember.
They gave us a chubby Azula, and it was like in episode 3, you introduced her into that.
I never watched it. And then my Alex tells me a bit about it. He's like, oh, it's decent. And he mentioned Chubby Azula. And I was like, that makes no sense for her character. She's a perfectionist. She would do. Why would she ever let herself?
And it's Asian culture. They don't do chubby people.
Yeah,
yes, that's right.
Yeah, like, and I kept just bringing things up. And he was like, oh no, it's not good.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't like Sokka, like wasn't misogynistic. I mean, that's what's so hilarious with him.
And he wasn't like the comedic. Like the thing is, like he was competently comedic, right? He was misogynistic, but comedic. And the thing is, he grew as he grew into a man. Obviously, when he was a young boy, he was incompetent. But as he got older, he trained. He became a great warrior. And like it was, I hate it so much. Caveat Ties, we're gonna fight. M. Night Shyamalan version is the GOAT.
He's just doing it to fuck with you.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Ong. Let's talk about Ong. Fuck that version. Oh my God. We're not going to talk about you, Santos. Don't be disrespectful. She's married. Anyway.
I didn't see that comment, but
Yeah, it's fine.
Don't worry about Matt, okay? So, do you have a certain like you said you kind of like the 8-bit music for gaming. Do you have like a type of gaming sound and music that you prefer to play? Do you like some of the more recent stuff? Do you like the older NES, SNES, any Genesis with the heavy guitar riffs? What have been your some of your favorites?
I like the old stuff. I love Zelda. I love Kondo. Anything he does, I love.
Yeah.
Um, I love the early Final Fantasy. I love
So good.
Mario and Zelda franchise, and just like a lot of the old retro games. I like stuff that has strong melodies.
Mhm.
So, some of the stuff now, you can still find some good stuff, but sometimes, a lot of times, the composers make it more like a score, but it's not as thematic. It's just
Mhm.
more like background music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not to say it isn't still really good. It's
Yeah.
just not I prefer a strong melody. I always do. So, like, the whole, like, John Williams or Hans Zimmer, I am definitely team John Williams, but I still like Hans Zimmer. He's still
Yeah.
great, but I want to be able to sing what the melody is.
And John Williams is a part of the story. I think that's a little bit different. Like his like and Hans Zimmer's great, like you said, but like
Mhm.
John Williams, his songs become part of that story. Like you hear, even if the score isn't on, as a big moment's going on, you're hearing it happen.
Well, and people who might not even know like anything about some of the franchises that John Williams has worked on, they hear some of the music
Yeah.
from it and they
Yeah.
know it. They
Yeah,
like they might not have watched it, but they know what it is just based off the music.
because it's such a good strong melody, and he knows how
Exactly.
to write themes, and he also did all his orchestration himself. So a lot of times the composer will write something and then they hand it off to an orchestrator, which is
Mhm.
where the magic really happens. That's a
Yeah.
hard job. And I mean, not to like disrespect Hans Zimmer, but he's got like a whole team and stuff. I just
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
John Williams is old school and knows
Mhm.
exactly what he's doing.
So what about some of those early like Xbox 360, PS2, PS3 kind of exclusive games? Because I feel like they worked hard on their songs. Like Halo comes to mind, and Halo from 1, 2, 3, like they have some legendary songs. Some of the scores in the songs from the Uncharted's God of
Mhm.
War, like they really battled to make it their own. And one of the things I loved, I think it was the Halo 2 OST. My favorite band is Incubus, and Incubus did
Mhm.
a 4-song ballad, and it was just the theme. And it was Incubus in the way, David, that
Mhm.
we've never heard them. 3 songs, almost 10 minutes apiece, that were just them going crazy on their instruments with Brandon Boyd in the background, just being rhythmically singing. Like it was some of the coolest stuff. And those are things that we just don't get anymore. So, have you seen some recent games that are really focused on that music and getting that feeling back into like really creating like something for the game, like you said, instead of just background noise, but making it as something that's feeling and a part of the game?
Ooh, I don't really know if I can really feel qualified to answer that because I'm not really up on a lot of the recent stuff. I will say the last game that I played, like really played a ton, was Destiny.
Mhm.
And of course, that was the music was from Marty O'Donnell and Mike
Yeah. Yeah.
Salvatore, who did the Halo
Yep.
music. I actually have become quite good friends with Mike Salvatore.
It's awesome.
Because I did the Destiny stuff and because I grew enough, Bungie invited me out a couple times and
It's
that's
cool.
how I got to hear music before it was released. It was
Mhm.
awesome. And that was like the only time I've ever really been starstruck is when I met Mike Salvatore. I was like,
Yeah.
"Hi." Like a deer in the headlights. But
So did he know who your dad was? Is it one of those things where you're starstruck and then like you mention your father and he's like, "Oh, I know." Like, is it one like did he know who he was from what he did
No,
in
he
Florida
he
State?
didn't know. I mean, people know my dad if they are Florida State fans, if they went to
Gotcha.
FSU and Tallahassee. Most people aren't gonna know him outside of that. But yeah, no, Mike Salvatore is such an awesome person. I can't like say enough good things about him. And I have spoken to Marty, off and on through the years too, and he's
Yeah.
always been
Yeah.
very, very kind. So I love what they did with Destiny, and there's also other composers that worked on the game Destiny too, C. Paul and Sky Lou and some other people too, is that did amazing jobs. And I think the music was incredible from Destiny. And I loved Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. Things kind of, I think Bungie has had a lot of issues over the last couple of years, and a
Yeah.
lot of the woke stuff has kind of seeped
Mhm.
into the game as
100%.
well. And so, and then of course I went through a whole cancellation, and the whole Destiny
Mhm.
community like
Mhm.
blacklisted me. So that sort of spoiled it for me too.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
so,
good for you. We love our
no,
canceled people. That
yeah,
means you did something right when you got canceled by the Wokies.
maybe, but I don't regret it. We'll say that. I don't regret it, but it also kind of felt weird to be like, do I still want to like support playing this game? This is bizarre,
Yeah.
So it kind of
It's
put me in a
hard.
weird spot. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really stopped playing. But that was the last game that I really played a lot of and could speak to that. I could speak to that music very well, and I
Mhm.
think it was phenomenal. But I don't know about like I said, I think a lot of composers are kind of moving a little bit more into like this sort of a like the ambient kind of music, the background score stuff,
Mhm.
which is it's not bad. It's still very good, and it can still enhance the gameplay, but it's I like just like I said, I like to have a stronger melody. That's just what I prefer. But some of the more serious games, it's not like you can really like a little hokey melody, like isn't gonna fit as
Yeah.
well. So
So
yeah.
when you're playing some of your songs, especially the ones you're doing for games, do you prefer to play a little bit more of like the like we said, Final Fantasy, like more just like the pretty and flowy type of music, or do you like to play some like the high octane stuff, like some like the classic 8-bit beat 'em up style things where
Oh,
they're
I
a much
like it
more
all.
upbeat?
I like a roller coaster of emotions on the piano. That's why I'm drawn to this instrument. It's very
Yeah.
therapeutic for me. Growing up, my family always said they knew what kind of mood I was in based on what I was playing. So I like to go through all of it. And if I'm in a bad mood, I'll tell my stream like I'm in a bad mood. I need to play some
Yeah.
angry music. Or I'll say like I need to play some calm down music or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's kind of a little bit of everything. I think probably I excel the most in the lyrical,
Okay.
soft,
Mhm.
beautiful melodies. I think that's
Mhm.
probably where I excel the most, but I think I can kind of do some of I can do crazy bloody tears from Castlevania.
Yeah.
I can get into some more intense stuff
Amazing.
Yeah.
too.
Which also just reminded me, I don't know why it popped in my head, Kingdom Hearts. I
Oh,
love that
I
soundtrack.
love Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts,
Beautiful.
such a good
So good.
soundtrack.
Nobody knows the story. Don't pretend like you actually do, but it's such those three games are so freaking fun. No one knows what's going on. There is not a single person
Three
that
games,
can
they have a
actually tell
million.
me they know what's
They
going
have
on.
a million games.
About
The
the
three,
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the storyline, absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
I thought you were talking about like an inside joke about
No,
Kingdom
no,
Hearts
no.
for a second. Oh, no, I know. The storyline is just so convoluted, like,
Incredibly
I have
convoluted.
no clue what
Yeah.
But it's so
happened,
much
but
fun.
but it was still so fun to play, and
Yeah.
the music was amazing, and I liked all the Disney characters, and yeah, no, I love Kingdom Hearts. It's great.
So, so do you play any other instruments as like competently as you play your piano, or is that like your main instrument?
Oh, this is definitely my main instrument. I mean, I played the flute in middle school ages ago, and I played steel drums. I played the bass steel drums in high school and in college, which was really fun. But I mean, I haven't played that in years. No, piano by a long shot.
So Caveat Ties wants to know, when do you do your shows?
I'm normally in the mornings, like around 10 a.m. Eastern, but sometimes I do afternoon shows as well. Usually like around 1 or 2 o'clock Eastern.
There's
And
nothing
they're
better than starting your day off with Lady Des, guys. Go follow and definitely make sure you do that.
Thank you. Yeah, they're
So
usually about 2 to 3 hours long because piano could be kind of hard to do for much
yeah.
longer than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I think that I know Rumble has been making a really strong push with the gaming on Rumble and the Rumble creating and stuff like that. Um, I think that I think it's Chris Pavlevsky is the main guy there. He would be really smart to take his gaming on Rumble people that are also musically talented and like have you guys form like a gaming on Rumble band. Like I think it would be just like freaking cool. Like because I've seen like so many of you guys like I watched and became friendly with Jobless over there. He's awesome and talented.
Mhm.
Obviously Megamoo, Side Scrollers community, she's good. Like I feel like there's like a group of you that they should all get together and the gaming on Rumble group. You guys should make a band and make music. I think that would be an awesome way to promote gaming on Rumble. Would you be down for
Yeah.
that?
I'm down for all kinds of things. So yeah, that would be a blast.
Yeah,
I mean, Meg and I have talked quite a lot, you know, and I
Mhm.
accompanied her.
Yeah.
And I know that's not gonna be the last time I play piano for her while she sings. I'm
Mhm.
sure we're gonna do something again sometime,
Yeah,
and then
and
hopefully in the
that's the
near
thing.
future.
I just like seeing talented people, especially music, because I have, like I said, I have negative music talent. I just enjoy seeing talented people get together and make some cool stuff and things like that. Like, I don't know, you guys should just make an anthem for gaming on Rumble, and we should convince like Dan Vask to do it as well, because Dan Vask can sing his ass off.
Oh,
And
I know he's so great.
oh, he's so good. You got to get him out of Brazil. We got to get him out like witness protection, get him out of
Get
Brazil,
him
Gosh,
out.
and bring him up here.
I would love to play the piano on one of his things. I don't. My mother-in-law is obsessed with him. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, he's a pretty man. Okay, the best way to put it, in the least gay way, he is a pretty man. Like
It's still pretty gay, though.
it is very gay, but that's the best way to describe him. Okay,
no, Dan is great, but like she loves him. It's crazy, and you know she'll like go on and on about how talented he is. Does she say anything about me? No, there's like nothing like but she'll go on and on about Dan Bass. I'm like low key, I'm seriously jealous of Dan Bass. I kind of like have a I don't have a bone to pick. I'm like, stop, you know,
Yeah.
stealing my mother-in-law.
Well,
Yeah,
his a large, not maybe not a large portion, but there's a generous portion of his audience is older women, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
says this all the
Oh, yeah.
time.
It's so funny.
He
It's
says
so
this
funny.
all the time.
he's
I
the cougar
know.
creator, man. That's what he is. But I mean, that's what you got to do. We need to make this happen. We have to start a thing. Get Lady Des and Dan Vask to play together, just so then you can hold it over your mother-in-law's head and be like, you know what, you might love him, but
Oh
I
no, I
performed with them.
do. I do. I tell him like, you know, I've been on a podcast with them before. Like I try and win points with her by like talking about my connection to Dan Bask.
That's incredible.
It's crazy.
We just got to get you guys to sing. Like, we have to get an album of like maybe just like based creators that can sing or make music. Like, should be a based creators album of like all the
Yeah.
bass creators that can do music, and just let you guys go ham for like 12 songs. I
Well,
think we can figure it out.
in all honesty, it's frustrating. Like the left always wins the culture wars because
It's
they're
so dumb.
supported, and it's like,
Mhm.
and the conservatives are not as good about supporting the arts. They're just
No,
not. Like,
it's nowhere
I mean,
near.
even before I was canceled and I had like all the lefties loving me, like I made substantially more. But I'm
Oh,
not.
yeah.
I'm not.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not saying I'm not grateful for what I received now. I very much am. But it's
Mhm.
just it's crazy like how much they will get. They're so moved by music and they will put the money where their mouth is, and the conservatives need to get better at that, or they're gonna like we feel like a shift happening right now because it just got so crazy on the left, and there is definitely a shift that's happening in culture right now. But like if artists aren't supported, they're just not going to produce artists.
Mhm.
And we've seen that too, because like even with like what Eric July is trying to do with Ripaverse and like all the things going on, you would think he would have more support, and he has a good amount of it. Don't get me wrong, Eric has a lot, but you would think it would be bigger, right? Because there's so many people that hate it.
Well,
What's going on in
I was gonna-
comics,
I was
but
going
it's
to
like,
say George
go ahead, Dave.
Alexopoulos complains about
Oh
this
yeah,
all
G
the
Prime 85 all the time.
He's
He battles with
always
Matt
saying
Walsh
that on Twitter.
all
Like,
the time.
it would be really
Yeah.
nice if there was some big right wing donors that say they care about
Well-
culture actually put the money
I
into
know.
it.
This book right here, Goes to the Badlands, is fantastic. His artwork with Razor Fist's story is
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
And it's like, and also when I have Goofberry Pie up there, like I try to support, okay? It's like, but we should be all working as hard as we can
Mhm.
to support anybody trying to be creative in this space, because I mean, we need to start doing those things. We need to come together, and we need to also, I also think it has to do with branding, right? Because a lot of times we'll brand ourselves like, oh, we're the alternative, or we're this and that. And it's like, no, we're for everyone. We're really good at what we do. We might not agree politically, but we are for everyone. And I think that's also where we go wrong. We kind of brand ourselves to only half a group, and half of that half doesn't give a shit about what we do.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
So outside of that, Lady Des, I know, we all have to be up early. We had to have you back on at some point, because
Oh,
I think this went
definitely.
by
Share a million
far too
things while you're
fast.
talking.
Yes.
But there you go, Dave. You beat me to it. I had a whole bunch of screens pulled up. Go ahead, Dave. So everybody, make sure you go. This is over on your Twitch.
I don't use
Go and
Twitch, so
Oh yeah, I actually don't. I'm not streaming on Twitch anymore.
okay, that's fine. Okay, good. Good, honestly.
So real quick, I just want to also
Okay.
mention Caveat Ty saying this is one we need to support. Crimson Titan and Strife Comics. Caveat is, works with Crimson Titan and Strife, works with both of them, and um, he's fantastic. And yes, we saw his campaign for it got fully funded, so that's good. We put our money there. But back to Lady Des. Caveat, stop taking this time. Um, go follow over here on Kick, Lady Des, doing a whole bunch of great stuff. I love that logo, by the way. Your logo is fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I had a really great graphic designer do that when I first started streaming.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also,
Get Wrecked is the name of his company.
that's a great name. So over there on Rumble as well. And I know listen, I'm down with Rumble. We should be pushing Rumble more and more and more because at any moment, any one of us, we're a smaller stream. Lady Des, you're bigger than us. Any of us for saying what we say, what we do could be pulled off of YouTube. So we need to be migrating more on Rumble. So anyone that's not following Lady Des yet needs to keep and needs to go follow her and go hang out with her every single morning. And Dave, bring up her YouTube as well. After I just got done bad mouthing it. Nope. Where'd you go?
I pressed the wrong thing. I pressed stop.
You didn't bring up the YouTube. We're professional here, Lady Des.
Sorry.
We are.
I really don't post much on YouTube anymore. I do still have the YouTube, but yeah, it's pretty much. I do Rumble and restream to Kick as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my two. And
I like Kick, so I think that's a good platform.
Yeah, Kick's a good one, and that's why we're on Kick and we're on Rumble. So if anything ever does happen, we'll also be there, and we'll always have our way to stream. So Caveat Ty saying just on Rumble, she's not like you said. She posts over on Kick and stuff as well, but Caveat, go support Rumble. Oh, no, okay, go support Rumble. I would prefer, and I love all of our YouTube people and things like that, and I get it. But if you would switch to Rumble, I wouldn't be mad as well because we need to keep on growing on Rumble. It's the place to be. We need to get that going. So, Lady Des, we appreciate you. There's your ex over there. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Everyone, make sure you are following Lady Desiree everywhere. On X and on Kick at Lady Desiree. It's not very hard. You just spell it right there. And then if you want to go on Instagram, Lady Desiree is at 00, it looks like.
Yes.
And so I did want to ask you one last thing. You mentioned that your husband is big and outdoorsy and has the beehive. Is it Liberty Honey Co? Is that you guys?
Yes.
Are you selling your honey?
Well, we are not selling right now because we're sold out. So
that's good.
yeah, we sell a lot. Like we sell it very well locally. And as the hives are growing, as we have more product to sell, I'm going to push online sales a little bit more.
Nice.
But it's shipping's a lot because it's so heavy to ship. So it's kind of like people have to sort of gear up for that. But we are, if anybody wants any merch, we are looking to get a lot of merch made pretty soon. And we've got a pretty awesome logo.
I like representing our guests. I would love a shirt to wear on stream.
Awesome. And we've got I don't want to give the other design away, but there's a pretty cool design that conservatives will definitely recognize.
Okay.
Very cool.
So
very, very cool. So once again, she's Lady Desiree. Everybody go follow her for music. And her streams are not just her playing like a crazy on Mozart. Her hair isn't going crazy. She's also talking. She's also hanging out. They are very chill streams. So everyone go support her. I'll be back next week. Dave, you're at work, so we don't care about you. But I will be back next week. I will have Heat back, hopefully starting tomorrow morning, so I can do more streams. Interim, I won't be frozen because it is going to get colder again starting tomorrow. So we better friggin' have Heat. But I'll be back. I'll be doing more shows, talking to more different people, having some fun. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. So everyone, we are getting out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, y'all.
bye.